When did you see the mask slip off someone you trusted? Dr. Margaret Hensley had been my therapist for 3 years when I discovered she was selling recordings of my sessions to a pharmaceutical company. The mask didn't slip all at once. It cracked slowly, starting with a phone call I wasn't supposed to receive. Is this Andrea Chen? The woman's voice was professional but nervous. I'm calling from Nexus Behavioral Research. There's been a data breach in our clinical trials database, and your name appeared in files you shouldn't have access to. I was standing in my kitchen making coffee at 7 in the morning, still in my pajamas. I think you have the wrong person. I'm not in any clinical trials. You're currently seeing Dr. Margaret Hensley for anxiety and depression treatment? My coffee mug froze halfway to my lips. How do you know that? Ma'am, I need to schedule a time for you to come in. There's been a significant privacy violation that affects you directly. That afternoon, I sat in a sterile conference room at Nexus Behavioral Research while a compliance officer named Janet Morrison laid out documents across the table like she was dealing cards. Each page had my name on it, session dates, medication responses, direct quotes from things I'd said to Dr. Hensley. Your therapist has been providing us with detailed session notes and audio recordings for the past 18 months, Janet said, her voice carefully neutral. You were categorized as a Category A subject in our medication response study. I never agreed to be in any study. That's the problem. Janet showed me a consent form with my signature. At the bottom, I stared at my own handwriting, but I had no memory of signing it. Dr. Hensley told us you'd agreed to participate in research to help develop better anxiety medications. She said you were enthusiastic about contributing to mental health research. I never signed this. Janet pulled out a manila folder thick with papers. We have recordings of 47 therapy sessions, detailed notes about your medication responses, including side effects, dosage changes, and behavioral modifications. Dr. Hensley was paid $12,000 per quarter for providing this data. My hands started shaking as I flipped through pages of my own private thoughts transcribed and analyzed. There were charts tracking my sleep patterns, mood fluctuations, and sexual side effects from antidepressants. Things I told Margaret in confidence, believing in doctor-patient privilege. How is this legal? It's not, Janet said quietly. That's why I'm calling everyone affected. Our legal department is preparing for significant liability exposure. I drove straight from Nexus to Dr. Hensley's office in downtown Portland, my mind racing through 3 years of therapy sessions. Had she been recording everything? Had she been studying me like a lab rat while I cried about my divorce, my job stress, my relationship with my teenage daughter? Margaret's receptionist, Linda, smiled at me like always. Andrea, you're not scheduled until Thursday. I need to see Dr. Hensley immediately. She's with a patient right now. Can I schedule you for later this week? Tell her Andrea Chen is here about the Nexus research study. Linda's smile faltered. She picked up her phone and whispered into it, then looked back at me with confusion. She says she can see you in 10 minutes. I sat in the familiar waiting room, looking at the inspirational posters and plants I'd stared at for 3 years. The same magazines on the coffee table. The same box of tissues on every end table. How much of this whole setup was designed to make me comfortable enough to reveal exploitable information? When Margaret's office door opened, her current patient walked out looking drained. Check the full story down here.